This week on the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, we talk about some official information from Rockstar about the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. We talk about a new state of play happening for PlayStation next week, and God of War is coming to PC early next year.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it locked right here to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast to learn more. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show where we bring you the nerdy video game news you need to know about each and every week. It goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom, the new HexxedPhenom Gamescast YouTube channel, and on podcast services around the globe. Again, still not Apple Podcasts. I don't know what the problem is.
It's still going. It rages on.
I'm gonna go try to find some sort of Apple podcast support thing, because the other two podcasts, it literally was approved and it was on Apple Podcasts within like a week. So I don't understand what the problem is. But
it's another Apple showdown.
Literally every other podcast service, for the most part, you can get the HexxedPhenom Gamescast on. So check it out there. I am one of your hosts, Joshua Wojcik, aka HexxedPhenom, and I am joined by my co-host, the Abstract Rocker, JP. JP, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a very interesting day at work.
I feel that.
And of course, there is zombies and double XP on Call of Duty.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, it's a pretty damn stacked day.
One last hoorah.
Ooh-ah! Oh, gonna be fun.
But, JP, as we always do here on the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, let's start off by talking about what we've been playing the past week.
Well, I finally got around to exploring the world of Far Cry 6.
Nice.
The ever-diversive and ever-changing world of Far Cry 6, and it is really phenomenal. I finally got my Ubisoft account to work.
Nice.
And of course, Ubisoft denies any reason, but we all know it was them. Just had to change my password and do a few things. Next thing I know, I logged on Far Cry 6, and I got all the stuff I should have got when I first signed on the game. And
nice.
Even my pre-order stuff for Red Dragon. Or Blood Dragon, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
For Blood Dragon was all the cybernetic stuff, so I was getting slapped with all this new stuff, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I only got the regular edition of the game, so I didn't get any cool fancy stuff. But
yeah, I believe Blood Dragon, I think, comes out in December, so then you'll get the cybernetics and stuff with that, too, if you get it. But I've been doing that, just exploring, going outside of the missions, having fun, unlocking some boats and everything. Been playing some Call of Duty because Ghostface is on there, and it is like I'd say it's the greatest operator they've added in this. It is.
It's definitely
incredible.
The one that they've clearly put the most work into.
They put the most work into this, and it's just iconic. It really is. Can't wait for the new Scream movie. Other than that, been really just kind of circling the drain on a few PlayStation Now things. Kind of really just want to get back for Blood. So I've been just kind of balancing everything out. I turned 30 this week, actually on Sunday the 17th. So Dirty 30 is going very well. So yeah, it's been a very busy week in terms of parties and hangouts, birthday dinners, all that good stuff.
Of course.
We'll begin more gaming in as this week comes to an end. Starting with zombies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
what have you been playing?
Pretty much pretty similar to you. I've been grinding out a lot of Far Cry 6. I recently actually beat the main story.
I was gonna say,
overall, I would say I'm basically just about done with the game. I literally only need one more trophy, and
holy shit,
that one trophy. I've heard there's a way to cheese it, but I don't want to risk it because it involves having to go offline and messing around with the date and time on your console, so I'm not even going to worry about it because...
What's the trophy by chance?
It's to take out 3 insurgency leaders, so no spoilers really, but basically after you beat the campaign, once a week, like a real-life week, there, one of the regions of the map will get taken back over by the Castillo's men or soldiers, whatever.
Oh, and you have to go
and so you basically go and clear out a base, but it has harder enemies this time, so they're all armored up and stuff. You go and clear out a base, 2 checkpoints, and then there's one other thing that it'll ask you to do. Then after you do all that, it'll tell you to go to a certain location and take out the insurgency leader, and then it'll free up that region again. But like I said, it only does one every single week, so I have to wait since you have to take out, I mean, I've heard that you can cheese it in 2 different ways. One is that you can go go offline and then set the date and time on your console forward a week, and then a new one will show up. But I've heard mixed reports on if that actually works or not. Some people say it did, some people say it didn't.
Yeah.
And I've also heard that you can cheese it by killing the insurgency leader, and then as soon as you kill him, restart from the last checkpoint so that you killed him, but he's not. You can cheese it that way, but I've also seen mixed reports on if that works or not. So I'll just wait the 2 weeks.
Might as well just do it legit.
And
it's only 1 trophy.
Do that. But
that's crazy. I almost got the platinum though. Wow.
Honestly,
that's
like,
awesome.
I mean, I was obviously trying towards it, but like, once I beat the main campaign, I already had like 80% of the trophies. Basically, it was basically just some leftover collectibles and 2 or 3 things that I needed to look up a guide for, like things that you had to be in a very specific location to get it. Like, there's a trophy to like slide 200 meters at once, and there's like one very specific location that's set up for that in the game that I needed to find. But I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously, I have complained multiple times on the show about the ammo type system. I'm still not a fan of it. But the only other real complaint I had about the game, and I don't know, maybe I honestly, it's possible that I might have either skipped a cutscene or wasn't paying attention at some point, but I felt like the ending was, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I felt that the ending was weird and that it didn't make sense to me. So I don't know if I skipped the cutscene or if I missed something.
I got the secret cutscene from driving off the.
Well, yeah,
that was pretty funny.
But like the actual ending. I was just like, it kind of caught me off guard because I was just like, I don't know. To me, it didn't add up. Like I said, it's possible I missed something or accidentally skipped a cutscene. But yeah, so Far Cry 6, almost done with that. Again, Call of Duty Zombies, I've been kind of grinding out all the new Season 6 challenges. I've grinded out the Haunting event challenges. Those are all pretty easy.
I think I got quite a few of those just by bullshitting the other night. Trick or treat and stuff like that.
Yeah, the only one you really like actually need to think about is there's one where you have to play, or not, well, I guess there's 2, but I mean, there's one where you have to, they have like a new special Outbreak variant called, I think it's called Hollow's Eve Outbreak.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And you basically spawn in on one region and you have 10 minutes to, so you have a 10-minute timer as soon as you drop in. And you have 10 minutes to basically loot up and get ready to exfil. So an exfil is going to automatically start at the end of 10 minutes.
Wow.
But every 2 minutes, the round tier goes up. So by the end, you're going to be at tier 5. Oh. So you have 10 minutes to get ready and get set up to exfil when it hits tier 5. And so it's actually obvious. I mean, you're in and out in literally the maximum amount of time is like 12 minutes because you have 10 minutes to loot up, and then the exfil sequence is you have, I think, 2 minutes. So, I mean, it's a really nice, quick in and out thing.
In and out thing. That's pretty cool.
And, I mean, granted, like, obviously I went into it solo, not really knowing what to expect. It was actually pretty tough. So, yeah, but I mean, other than that, like, pretty much all of it is just like, oh, like, I don't know if you've played Zombies yet. But
since the update, no. But
soon. So now in all the modes, every zombie has pumpkins on their heads, and if you get headshots, there's a chance that one of the zombies will drop a jack-o'-lantern, and if you open the jack-o'-lantern, it'll have like armor and chalices, so you can just pack a punch your weapon for free. And sometimes it'll have like score streaks in them. Zombies is like very easy right now, and it's like,
that is incredible.
Honestly, like, I know that sometimes we complained about like zombies being too easy, but I think where Cold War normally sits is it's like it's almost too easy in like a boring kind of way, but this drives it to 11 in a way that it's so easy that it's goes back to being fun again, because it's just like, it's like, oh, I just smashed a pumpkin off a zombie's head, and now I have a free pack-a-punch weapon, basically. So that'll only be around for a couple of weeks until the Haunting event ends, but
that's pretty cool what they did. I mean, yeah, it's gonna make it easy.
But
definitely excited about
it.
Please get down here.
And then what else have I been playing? The only other thing, really, honestly, I've been struggling to find other things to play. I went on PlayStation Now and I started playing the original Final Fantasy VII. And it's definitely, I mean, obviously, it's, 25 years
It's nostalgic as fuck.
Of, like, technological advancements, but it's, I mean, I knew that it was, like, turn-based and all that stuff, compared to the remake being not turn-based and stuff like that. And I've been having fun with it, but it's like, I mean, this is more of just, like, how games were in the 90s, but it's really fucking hard. Like, yep. And that, like, because of the way the save system works, like, if you lose in a battle, you get a game over, and you have to go all the way back to the last time you saved. So,
I remember buyers playing that back in the day. At least I believe so. PS1?
Yeah, PS1.
Yep, I remember that.
So shit gets really tough, and I've gotten demolished in just regular battles, not even boss battles, many times. So, but yeah, I've been having fun with that, and then there's a couple of games on the horizon that I'm looking forward to that in a couple of weeks, but until then, I re-downloaded Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered.
I'm like, wow, oh boy.
What a surprise, right?
He's back to taking photos.
Oh, yep, that's exactly why I downloaded him. I was like, I want to take some screenshots, so.
Gonna kill some time. Screen.
But, yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
I gotta hit PlayStation. I got so many games to play. I'm getting there. I'm just like, so many games, not enough time, so
it's only going to get worse in the next couple of months.
Yep.
Literally, well...
That it is. that it really is.
Not to spoil one of the news stories, but...
Oh boy,
within about a week of each other, we have... Well, there's Vanguard on the 5th, Forza Horizon 5, which I'm really looking forward to, comes out either on the 5th or the 9th, depending on the edition you get.
I can't wait for Vanguard.
And then, hopping into our first news story, GTA, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, comes out...
secret of all time.
Comes out on November 11th. I don't really know if I'm going to be getting it as soon as it comes out. I have no idea. But that's our first news story.
I like how they make it look all so glam. I mean, it's anything but that. Wow. Oh, damn. All right. There's a lot of weird things with this remaster. Obviously, you guys have heard it from the previous episodes, but it gets even better now. There's actually official confirmation about it.
I mean,
no secrets anymore.
Before I even start to dive into it, I mean, granted, like, I do think it looks a little bit better than I was expecting. Not by much.
Not by much
but
at all. Yeah.
The weird thing is, I mean, most of the leaks are true. The only big standouts that I could think of that weren't true is that, one, it wasn't made by Rockstar Dundee, which is what everybody thought was happening. So it wasn't even made by any studio within Rockstar, which might explain the actual quality of it. It was actually made by, I don't remember the studio, I think they say it in here somewhere, but it was made by the same studio that did the mobile ports of the trilogy previously.
Well, that explains why it's so low-tiered. Oh, man.
So there's that. And then the only other, as far as I can tell, unless it was just a mistake, just out of curiosity, I clicked on the thing to pre-order the PS5 version, and it's showing up as the same price as the PS4 version. So we assumed that the next-gen version was going to be $70, or at least that's what leaks were claiming. But it seems like they're the same price.
$60 is still way too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't, it's just, yeah, we'll get into more about opinions soon, but so what's the official, are we just kind of...
Well, we'll read off the Rockstar Newswire first.
Oh, boy.
So,
oh, boy.
Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, coming November 11th. For PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Rockstar Games launcher. 3 iconic cities, 3 epic stories, 1 definitive collection. GTA, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition includes the genre-defining GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and San Andreas together, each one enhanced for a new generation. Available for PS5, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, will be available digitally on November 11th through the PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store, Nintendo eShop, Rockstar Games Launcher, and a physical release for Series S and X and Xbox. With a physical release for Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4 on December 7th. So no PS5 physical release. The X and S, well, the only reason that the X and S technically has a physical release is because the way that the Xbox works is that you can just have one disc for all 3 versions of the game.
Oh, well, that's
which
good.
I wish that PlayStation could have figured that out. I don't know what the problem is that they couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's no physical.
But yeah, that is such a fucking weird choice. I don't understand it.
To tell you the truth, looking at these screenshots, they look like PSP graphics. The first thing I noticed when I saw it, I'm like, oh, it looks like the PSP graphics. All right, it's kind of weird.
It's so weird because, like, yeah, some screenshots look bad and others look not great, but like
you could tell they look better than they would. Like you could tell.
But then there's like certain things that are just like super like hyper reflective for no reason. Like,
yep.
And it's just like, so you have these like 4K like up-res textures and this like super high quality like reflections,
but they still look cartoony.
But the games still look cartoony and polygonal as fuck. So it's such a weird choice, and it's like, on one hand, like, I don't know.
I think they wasted their opportunity, because if fans can create a modern day build, it's just one person, two people over the span of 2 to 3 years. I don't get why a high class dev studio and company cannot give us a actual This isn't a remaster at all. This is really just an upres 2.0 from the original digital versions that they took off the store, because they want you to buy that crap for $60.
See, technically,
stupid.
Getting into the weeds on it, this technically is a remaster, but I think everybody wanted it to be a remake, where people wanted it to be built from the ground up and, you know, be a significant upgrade, not...
Yeah, they want it to be a real remaster of the times, not, oh yeah, we just put this in Unreal Engine and tweaked with things for like 5 minutes. Oh yeah, we feel pretty good about this.
I don't know for sure, but I do kind of wonder what this would have looked like if it actually was being done inside of Rockstar instead of it being thrown out to this random studio that did the mobile ports of the Trilogy before.
I'm sure it would look a hell of a lot better, and it would have more detail in it and probably more love. But yeah, so yeah, $60, and it's kind of funny because it really just looks like an upres 2.0 from the games I own digitally from the collection, and I bought that on the PS4 for $15. $15, and they want $60 because they took it all away. So if not,
that's the thing that pisses me off the most about this. Like, regardless of like what they actually did to the game and all that stuff shoved off to the side.
Yeah, like
it's the fact that they eliminated the choice between this and the original one. And I'm sure people will make the argument, or Rockstar would probably even try to make the argument, that they did it to avoid confusion with, oh, we didn't want people to think they were getting the definitive edition and accidentally buy the PS2 version or whatever.
Tell you the truth, you'd have a better deal.
Well, first of all,
they probably know that too.
I mean,
like, oh man, you bought the PS2 upres instead of the new one? Wow, you saved $40. What? Where's my money, man? Nah, yeah, I just...
That's down to, like, if you buy something and don't read what you're getting, like, that's on you. Like, that has nothing to do with
and that's on you,
the company. But I mean, they also could have made it less confusing with GTA the Trilogy and then GTA the Trilogy Definitive Edition. And it's like, they could have came up with a better naming scheme, I think.
They could have just called it the GTA Trilogy Remastered Collection. There you go. Even though I don't call it a remaster. But yeah.
But
it's interesting.
Let's keep on reading. Bringing the classic worlds of Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas to modern platforms, GTA the Trilogy Definitive Edition debuts new GTA 5-inspired modern controls, plus across-the-board visual enhancements such as resolution upgrades, improved visual fidelity across the worlds, and much more to faithfully tune and improve upon all three games while also maintaining their distinct original aesthetic. To me, that sounds like we didn't want to remake the game.
Yeah, that's
so we just increase the texture resolution and fix the lighting a bit.
I have a feeling you'll get an actual remake one day of that trilogy. Now, when is that going to happen?
I don't know. I honestly,
eventually I can see it, or somebody will do it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I hope somebody just mods the shit out of this version, but then you still have to pay the $60 to get it. So it's still a shitty situation no matter what. But
I love it.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is that they took a bunch of mods. The people weren't like free mods. People weren't even selling them,
and they were taking them off.
They took them. They were taking them down and sending out cease and desist because a lot of it looked better than this does.
Yeah.
But the Rockstar needs their $60. God forbid they're not making billions of dollars on shark cards every fucking year.
Yeah, I don't know. It really just shows how greedy Rockstar is.
It has gotten.
And has gotten, because people have been clamoring for a remaster, a real remake remaster, not just whatever the hell that crap is. But we were actually clamoring for a real remaster next gen experience.
It's sad because it's like some of the stuff that they're doing is what people would have wanted, but it just seems like they only went halfway. It's like we did some of what you wanted, but we didn't go all the way.
Tell you the truth, what it looks like, it literally looks like somebody just like had a PSP. They had the PS2 emulator on their PSP. They ported the PS2 version of it into the PSP, and they just modified how it looked through their menu, and they're like, wow. Yeah, that literally looks like a nice screenshot from a PSP version of... Honestly, that looks like Vice City Stories. It's kind of interesting how they didn't actually pay attention to anything.
Honestly, if you showed me this screenshot of the San Andreas Definitive Edition, and the logo wasn't there, I would think this was a screenshot from, like, Midnight Club, LA.
Yeah. I'm just
like, it looks like a PS3 game, kind of.
Yeah, so I feel bad for the people that are suckered into buying this because they missed out. I mean, that's the only exception that I make.
I mean, I never got to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I owned San Andreas, the original PS2 version on the PS4. But the controls is the one thing that stopped me every time I tried playing it. So the idea of having a version with modern controls is cool, but is it worth $60 to me? Probably not. I'll probably wait a few months until I can grab it on sale. Maybe even for like closer to Christmas if they have it on sale or whatever.
Then again, you could just mod the game. Even on the PS2, you can mod it if you want. There's an easy way to change the control schemes, but obviously you'd have to do a lot more digging for it. But yeah, it's just interesting how this remastered thing went. Like it like for me and majority of people, they were like, oh, this is going to be fucking epic. And then you started seeing the leaks and the secrets come out and you're like, this is going to suck. And then they go, yeah, it's on Nintendo Switch and mobile. It's like, oh, this is definitely a complete downgrade. But, you know, I guess people will enjoy it. I just feel bad for the people that are suckered into buying this because they missed out because Rockstar pulled the floor out from under them. At least, yeah, PlayStation Now has Grand Theft Auto 3. Game Pass has Vice City or San Andreas?
San Andreas. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, you have an option to play them separately without paying money for them, in theory. It's not too bad.
But yeah, that's another thing, is just this whole situation is stupid and confusing. But
yeah.
Let's keep reading. GTA The Trilogy Definitive Edition includes a wide range of modern control upgrades, including improvements to target and lock-on aiming, updated weapon and radio wheels, updated minimap with enhanced navigation, allowing players to set waypoints to destinations, updated achievements, trophies, and more. The Nintendo Switch version also features Switch-specific controls, including gyroscopic aiming, as well as touchscreen camera zooming, pans, and menu selections, while the PC version includes support for NVIDIA DLSS and additional new accomplishments via the Rockstar Games Social Club. See, if they put even half as much care into the rest of the game as they did with implementing like gyroscopic aiming for the Switch and touchscreen controls,
you would definitely have a way different game if it was a Rockstar developed.
Like, sure, it's cool features, but like, who the hell is going to be playing GTA San Andreas on their Switch and aiming like this, fucking this? Who's going to hold their Switch and be like, oh yeah, oh,
gyroscopic aiming. Oh my god, I'm Tony Montana.
Like, stuff like that is such a, like... Oh god, now my TV's turning on because I pulled my Nintendo Switch out of the dock. Now everything's fucking turning on.
Oh my god, damn it. The PS5's on. The Nintendo Switch is on.
Oh god damn it.
But,
now look what I did, Chief.
Oh, now YouTube's starting up.
Oh jeez.
Wow. Yeah.
I really messed up everything here.
Now, for real though, if they would have just like actually cared about this, and not just gave it off to some random crappy studio, I think you would have gotten more. I don't know, man. Seeing the comments to this is absolutely ridiculous. And
honestly, the comments are a lot more split than I thought they would be. I honestly thought that this would get shit on just like Expanded and Enhanced did. But I saw a surprising amount of comments that people were like, "Oh, they're finally doing it. Like, this looks great. Like, can't wait to buy it." And I'm just like,
You clearly
this is a lot more positive than I thought people would be.
Yeah, they just clearly missed out. But yeah, if you played the originals and have that collection, looking at this does not change a damn thing. It's kind of like, wow, I got that whole thing for $15, and it's like, wow, now I got to pay $60 for a fucking new engine in it. I don't know. It's just.
Additional enhancements include a completely rebuilt lighting system, improved shadows, weather, and reflections, upgraded character and vehicle models, along with the new higher resolution textures across buildings, weapons, road interiors, and more.
Well, that's good.
It also includes a range of environmental upgrades, such as new foliage, smoother surfaces, and increased draw distances. The increased draw distances will definitely be welcome, especially in San Andreas. I mean, I don't know if the other games were the same way, but I remember it being really bad in San Andreas specifically.
San Andreas had a lot of fog because of that.
Originally developed by Rockstar Games, GTA the Trilogy Definitive Edition has been adapted to modern platforms by Grove Street Games using Unreal Engine to make make these classics more vibrant and more immersive than ever, celebrating the legacy of the series and redefining interactive entertainment that helped propel video games to the center of culture. Stay tuned to Rockstar Newswire for more. And this is the part that's really fucking confusing to me. Players will also be able to experience Grand Theft Auto San Andreas the Definitive Edition with Xbox Game Pass starting November 11th, so the same day it releases. GTA 3 the Definitive Edition will be available on PlayStation Now starting December 7th. Plus, expect to see more fun special surprises celebrating the 20th anniversary of GTA 3 in GTA Online. Whatever. Okay, so that last line is interesting.
That gets me to actually get on GTA Online, though. I will admit that.
Because they're putting San Andreas the Definitive Edition on Game Pass. They're putting GTA 3 Definitive Edition on PlayStation Now in December. You can't buy the Definitive Edition games separately, as far as I know. At least right now, all you can do is pre-order just the Trilogy Definitive Edition. But then they're partitioning little parts of it off for PlayStation Now and Game Pass, respectively.
So basically, yeah, they just confirmed they could do it.
The interesting thing is that they're very clearly not putting Vice City on anything, because they don't want you to be able to just play the Trilogy for free and not have to buy it.
Yeah, it's just a pawn. They could easily split them, too. I mean, they just did it. Why can't you just sell them for $15 a pop? It's still cheap and it's outrageous to charge. But yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this whole thing, like, granted, like I said at the beginning, I think it looks better than I was expecting, but it's still not worth $60 to me. And I'm sure there are people out there that it is worth $60 to. Don't get me wrong.
I'm willing to bet that.
But I don't really have the nostalgia for these games. So to see them, like, yeah, it's cool, but I would have much preferred, like, more. And for the price point, I expect more, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, plus, as someone who grew up with these games and got them on the PS4, the PS2, PS4 upres for $15, if you took that base game and you did this, but you won $60, and then you took out that version, I don't know. I think it's an absolute cash grab entirely. I mean, yeah, you can tell at this point you might as well just try to filter piss just to see if it comes out clear at the bottom. Hey guys, how many filters do we got to do to make sure it comes out clear at the bottom if it's completely yellow? Oh, hey, we'll clean it up a bit. Yeah, just keep adding more filters. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, looks good, man. Nah, it's just I don't know. I just detest what they did, because after seeing people with their mods and their fan-made remasters of these games, and just to see, and sure, it may not be Rockstar, but it's kind of actually worse, because they pawned it off to some random studio that's called Grove Street Games.
I mean, if they're called Grove Street Games, I assume they're, like, some type of associated with Rockstar.
They have to be,
but it's like
with them, but they could have done.
It's the same studio that did the mobile ports of these games how many years ago. And it's not to, like, it's not, I'm not trying to shit on this studio, but it's also like I'd be more interested in what this game could have been if it was from a proper Rockstar studio.
Yep.
Because the rumor for how long was that Rockstar Dundee was working on it, and that's what they were specifically formed to do, was work on remasters. At least that's what the rumor was. I mean, that could be partially true, and they could be working on something else. I mean, you had been saying there's that rumor about the Red Dead Redemption remaster.
Red Dead Redemption remaster. I hope that's actually a remaster, because I swear if they do what they did with this, I'm not buying that either. It's just, you think if you have a legendary IP titles, you're in the era of remasters, you give it the proper treatment. You don't just go, yeah, let's just filter this through like piss and see how it comes out clear on the other side, and then we'll be like, wow, that's quality product right there. That's clear. It's just, it's not that it's like a bad thing. It's just, you could tell that it deserved better.
Yeah,
and you could tell that they didn't give a flying fuck about this at all. They're like, all right, well, $60, we'll make a lot of money. The people got their remaster, and then we'll move on. And we'll move on to some real things. And maybe they're like, oh, this will shut them up for a little bit, and maybe that's what they did. Like I said, just from seeing the fan remakes and the remasters, mods, and the map imports, and the de-reverse of the code. There's actually people that have put all of the damn islands in one game, and it looks incredible how they did it. And I can tell you that mod looks better than remaster. I just, after seeing that and then seeing what they put out, you can kind of see the filtered comparison. It's like you're trying to clean something up that now the people looks like shit from way back when. Well, you just got to clean it up and just filter it through just a little bit, just to make people go, oh my God. And to people like me and him and people that know what Rockstar is capable of, or their actual studios and the graphics and the work that they could do, like their community, you think they would step up and be like, wow, if they could do that, imagine what we could do if we had a whole studio working on that. I don't know. It's a lost cause.
And like, in a vacuum, like, in a vacuum, these remasters of these games are fine. The price, shitty, but outside of that, in a vacuum, they're fine. It's all of the shit surrounding it that pisses me off. And I know we're being like, some people might think we're being unnecessarily negative about this, but it's, to me at least, and I'm sure you mostly feel the same way, the actual remasters themselves, they're whatever. I think they're overpriced, but otherwise they don't look horrible. The thing for me is all of the shit surrounding it, with like, now the confusion with, one of the games being on Game Pass, one of the games being on PlayStation Now, but you can't buy the games separately. If you want to buy them, you have to buy the whole trilogy. That's dumb. Okay, they took the old trilogy off the store, so now you don't have a choice in which one you want to buy. You have to buy this new $60 remaster. Okay, great, we got to spend more money, whatever. They're taking down all these fan mods that people worked how many years on, of just like shit that they did in their free time just to make the games that they loved even better. And Rockstar sending out cease and desists for people who aren't even selling them, just people who were having fun making mods, learning to code, whatever. There's that bullshit. Then there's, Rockstar in the PS2, less so in the PS3 era, but in the PS2 era, they were putting out like a new game every like 10 months.
Yeah, they were pumping them out, man.
All the Midnight Club games, Bully, Manhunt, Manhunt 2, Red Dead Revolver.
They'd all be good remasters.
The GTA trilogy, like, in the like 5-6 year time span of the PS2, they put out like 12 games or something crazy like that. Like all the Midnight Clubs, Bully, Manhunt 1, 2, frickin' I don't know, did I say Bully? I don't remember.
Yeah, and then like the
GTA trilogy, Red Dead Revolver.
GTA trilogy started.
And it's just like, the best meme to compare it to is the meme you always see is on the PS2, Rockstar put out 3 GTAs. Now, with GTA 5, PlayStation has put out 3 PlayStations for GTA 5. And it's like, they went from putting out 12 games a console generation to putting out 1. They put out 1 new game in the PS4 generation, and that was Red Dead 2. They ported over GTA 5, sure, but even then, that's 2 games. When they used to put out like 12.
It's all about the money.
And granted, yes, games are getting more complicated, games are getting more expensive, but like, I don't know, with how big Rockstar is, I don't know if that's a valid excuse for...
They're huge, entirely. They have studios all around the world.
Yeah, they have
Thing is,
I can
too,
think of like 6 of their studios off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's way more, like even smaller ones that don't even have names that are just for supporting the making of other games.
And like the thing about it is too, you have the thing on Game Pass on PlayStation Now. That doesn't mean you own the game. They could pull that 1 month from release, and you're fucked because you played that game. So now you're gonna go, wow, I got 10 of the trophies in GTA 3, and I want that platinum. Well, I guess I'm buying the edition, and it's like what the.
Yeah, that's the other thing is with those subscription services,
they're playing
games
ball
are
now.
constantly moving in and out of them.
Yeah, they're playing ball completely, and at the same time, you have to understand that this whole remastered trilogy thing has been a thing since Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. As soon as the PlayStation 3 era started and GTA 4 was unveiled, that's when people go, wow, Rockstar, you should remaster the originals with this touch. Then GTA 5, wow, you should remaster it with this engine. And then what did they do? I'm just gonna filter it up pretty good. We're gonna make it look nice and clear. And that's what they did. I just it was like a complete spit take. They were like, oh yeah, I guess yeah. Oh yeah, we'll give them the remaster, but there's gonna be a price. And yeah, needless to say, I'm excited for GTA 6. I'm excited for GTA 5 Enhanced and Expanded, but I'm not paying $60 on that crap to come back out again. Like, I could see if they actually tried, maybe I'd pay 40. But see, now we're getting the same exact game that I bought for $15 as a trilogy. Why would I pay you $60 just to filter it out a bit? Like,
That's the thing is like,
and then you lose the classic feel of it too.
Yeah.
At the same time, and it's a new engine, so who knows how it's gonna play.
Yeah, so. I mean, they didn't actually. I don't think Rockstar themselves said it. Maybe they said it in their first blog post about it. I swear I read somewhere that there would be an option to switch back to the classic like control scheme for like aiming and whatnot, but
I don't think you could do it fully for the whole game. I know aiming you probably get on the D-pad and all. I don't know how it's gonna work.
I mean,
the new engine and everything.
Bare minimum, that you should be able to go into the options, and there should be a second like control scheme that you can swap between.
Oh, and my favorite out of all this. So I'm looking at the comments of this thing getting destroyed, and some of the positive comments of people that never played the original that are going to be delusionized into playing this and going, whoa. But I've seen people, they go, wow, we could swim. I'm like, you can't swim. I can already tell you on day one, people are going to literally go in Grand Theft Auto 3. They're going to be Claude, whatever the hell you want to call them. And they're going to like, I can go swimming pier to pier. I'm going to make it to that second island. And they're going to jump right over the bridge and be like, you can't swim? It's going to be interesting to see people's reactions to this trilogy. I don't even know.
Yeah, the thing for me is, I am like, especially with the new controls, like I am definitely interested in playing it, but I'm not going to pay full price for this. Just out of like the circumstances of everything going on with it, I will, even though like, I don't know, even though I would like to play them just because of the circumstance, I'm going to wait until it goes on sale. And even then, like I might play GTA 3 when it comes out on PlayStation Now, the definitive edition, but other than that, I'm going to wait until it goes on sale.
I'm going to look at some videos once the game comes out and probably laugh. I'm really just interested to see people play it, so maybe on Twitch I'll look at it. So, yeah, we'll definitely see where it goes. It's just, in today's world and technology, I mean, I can't even believe it. It's kind of unforgivable. But, you know, I guess that is how it is. Maybe one day we'll see.
And I mean, granted, we only really got like 45 seconds of footage. So, I mean, it's a little hard to tell like what has actually been done based on a couple screenshots and like a less than 1 minute trailer. So,
a theatrical thing. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens, but
I'd be interested to see like actual gameplay, not like just shit ripped out of cutscenes, which is what they showed.
That's exactly what they showed. I'm like, gotta make it look good, gotta filter it clear. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
But moving on here, bit of a quicker, smaller news story. New PlayStation State of Play airing next week. This is by Owen S. Good over at Polygon. Sony promises a 20-minute look at third-party games. The next PlayStation State of Play live stream is Wednesday, and it will offer a 20-minute look into third-party games for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. PlayStation blog on Friday morning said the broadcast will, quote, will share new looks at previously announced games, end quote, although it will also include, quote, a few reveals from our partners. State of Play will air Wednesday, October 27th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and the broadcast is available on PlayStation's Twitch and YouTube channels. As far as which games or publishers will be featured, Sony didn't specify, but near term, Ubisoft's Riders Republic launches the next day, and Call of Duty Vanguard arrives November 5th. Rockstar Games also just announced the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remaster. I didn't know this was a part of this article.
Oh, I'm like, oh boy, we're going to see more of the State of Play. Maybe, I hope. Would be pretty good as a selling point.
GTA 5 expanded and enhanced for a new generation of consoles is also due to launch in March. After a February stacked with launches that include Elden Ring, Saints Row, and Sifu, Sony last aired a State of Play in July, which also gave a 20-minute look at third-party games for both consoles. Sony followed that in early September with a PlayStation Showcase, a much longer reveal of games launching the holidays and early winter. I don't know for sure. I don't think we really need anything to see from Vanguard. I don't think we need. I wouldn't put it past them to show, but I don't think we need to see anything new from either of the Grand Theft Auto things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just need anything to get people to buy it. So probably would be to have it at State of Play, just so they could be like, well.
Even if there is something at State of Play, for some reason I don't see it being anything new.
Make sure you got your.
I see it being the existing trailer with just the added thing at the end being like, oh, and you can play GTA 3 on PlayStation Now starting in December. But
maybe they'll be like, all right, put your drunk goggles on, boys.
I could maybe see something from Saints Row. I don't know if anything from Elden Ring will be there. Usually Elden Ring has been more associated with Xbox. I feel like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, 20 minutes for third-party stuff.
Should be an interesting show.
I will say that the one thing that I saw on, maybe it was Twitter, somebody was saying, well, here's one way to look at it. At least we won't get another Deathloop trailer, because literally at every single PlayStation event for the last 2.5 years, there was always a Deathloop trailer. And now that it's finally out, people are like, well, at least we won't have a Deathloop trailer. But for some reason, I could see there being a trailer for Deathloop still. Like DLC or like an accolades thing of being like, oh, everybody loves Deathloop.
You know how much you guys love Deathloop. It's kind of like MTV Cribs. Yo, dog, I heard you like this, so here's a da-da-da.
We heard you like Deathloop, so we put Deathloop in your Deathloop.
Yeah, but I heard you like Deathloop, so here's a custom Deathloop PS5 console and a trailer embedded in it. Every time you turn it on, it plays.
Yeah, the only thing it can do is play the trailer over and over again.
It only has one disc mounted in it forever, and it's the Deathloop trailer.
Yeah, not even the game, just the trailer burned on a disc. But yeah, I don't know. Just definitely wasn't expecting to log on to YouTube when I got home from work and see a bunch of scheduled live streams for a Sony State of Play. So that was interesting. But I mean, 20 minutes of third-party stuff. I could see maybe. I know Resident Evil has been teasing a bunch of new Resident Evil announcements, so I could see maybe one of those things appearing at the PlayStation Showcase, because PlayStation usually loves to show off Resident Evil stuff. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect, but maybe something from Dying Light. I'm not 100% sure. Now that that's in February. Yeah, that's February, right? Or no?
I think so.
February and March are going to be fucking crazy. Just off the top of my head, there's Dying Light, and these aren't even games that necessarily I'm all interested in, but just in general. I know there's Dying Light, there's Elden Ring, there's Saints Row, Gran Turismo 7 is in March, but it's the 4th or something like that, or the 7th, so it's right at the beginning of March.
Yep.
There's Horizon Forbidden West in February. I know there's a Marvel game coming out in March. WWE is supposed to be coming out in March.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Train wreck.
But, yeah, the first 3 months of next year are looking insane.
Dying Light. It's quite a few games. I'd like to see MX or Z somehow.
Yeah, none of those THQ games had release dates, so we'll see.
I know, right? I'm just like, maybe we can get one.
So the next news story we're going to talk about some updates on the Activision Blizzard lawsuit bullshit. Okay, so this is by Polygon, or from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. More than 20 Activision Blizzard employees, quote, exited following lawsuits. Quote, we must earn our team's confidence that when they speak up, they will be heard. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's a quote. That is certainly a quote from the company that was shredding papers that were in association to the investigation.
To frat boy culture.
Call of Duty and Overwatch publisher Activision Blizzard is vowing to create, quote, company culture where all feel safe and heard, according to a letter published by Activision Blizzard Corporate Affairs Executive Vice President Fran Townsend. The letter was reportedly circulated internally before being published online. Townsend said more than 20 people have, quote, exited Activision Blizzard following internal investigations following California's sweeping Department of Fair Housing and Employment lawsuit against the company. Current and former employees allege that the World of Warcraft publisher managed a toxic workplace culture that's hostile to women who are paid less than men and subject to sexual harassment. Townsend said that, quote, more than 20 individuals have been disciplined in connection to various resolved reports in the recent months. Activision Blizzard has not responded to Polygon's request for more information regarding the exits and disciplinary action. In the months since the original lawsuit, Blizzard has been sued by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, its shareholders, and the National Labor Relations Board. The company is also being investigated by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for alleged violations relating to workplace discrimination and sexual harassment. Activision Blizzard settled with the EEOC, which is the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, in September for $18 million. The DFEH tried to intervene in that settlement, and now these two agencies are fighting. Ahead of Tuesday's letter from Townsend, Activision Blizzard filed documents in the DFEH case asking a judge to halt the lawsuit. Essentially, Activision Blizzard is trying to get the case thrown out due to a conflict of interest between government lawyers, according to The Verge.
All right.
Despite that filing, Townsend said in Tuesday's letter that Activision Blizzard is, quote, working tirelessly to ensure that moving forward, this is a place where people are not only heard, but empowered, end quote. To do so, Activision Blizzard said it is ongoing investigations and that reports can continue to be made anonymously. The company will add 19 employees to its ethics and compliance team, led by Senior Vice President Jen Brewer. Townsend also said that Activision will, quote, triple its investment in training against harassment and other workplace concerns. Some current and former employees on social media and in conversation with Polygon said they're not convinced by Townsend's letter. This is due in part to Townsend's initial response to the DFEH lawsuit. The Activision Blizzard exec and former Homeland Security advisor under George W. Bush said the lawsuit was, quote, distorted and untrue, as well as, quote, truly meritless and irresponsible, end quote. At the time, a group of Activision Blizzard employees banded together to call for her removal as the sponsor of the Activision Blizzard King Employee Women's Network. Hundreds of Blizzard employees walked out of work following Townsend's initial letter. Thousands of current and former employees signed an open letter in support of the DFEH lawsuit. Multiple executives and high-profile employees exited the company in the following months, including Blizzard President J. Allen Brock. So, that was a lot of reading.
That was a whole lot of hoopla in terms of the guy. Man, we want them to feel great and empowered. It's like, it's a very interesting tune you're singing now. Huh?
Yeah, a very interesting tune considering right after the lawsuit came out, they were saying it's untrue and false and meritless and all this other bullshit. So
as soon as it hits the actual firm and lawyers, and it's like, oh god, guys, I think the jig's up. Start shredding the paperwork.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but as soon as the lawsuit came out, they were being like, it's fake, it's meritless, it's, you know what I mean, all this, and everybody's like, all their employees are like, no, it's very much true.
It's sad knowing that.
And now they're like, well, but we want people to feel empowered, and we want them to feel safe and empowered, and you know, we're tripling our investment in this and that, and it's just like, you can say all these things, but in the end, does it actually mean anything? And I mean, it's going to be months until we figure out if the situation gets better there.
You know, if they actually really meant it, you think they would like donate money to cause to help like the family or to honor that worker that killed themselves. You know, you could tell it's not about them, because it was about them as like their employees. They would have definitely done something to the family that had someone kill themselves because of what they created. There's really no responsibility. There's just, well, we're going to throw money around because we got money.
Well, if I'm not,
all right, cool.
If I'm not mistaken, I mean, I could be wrong. I could have swore at the beginning of all this that one of the lawsuits had something to do with, like, part of it had something to do with her family. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if they settled with that woman's family or not, or what happened. But
they're probably like, this is all untrue, and we're going to double down our money where our mouth is. So,
knowing Activision, they probably
got out of it somehow.
Not even got out of it. They probably, like...
Or just swept it under the...
Yeah, denied that, the workplace culture had anything to do with her suicide or whatever.
Yeah.
But, again, I mean, we've said this every single time we've talked about it. It is horrible that it had to get to the point of someone losing their life before anyone actually cared to start investigating. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't remember how the timelines actually lined up, but I think they were being investigated before the woman committed suicide, but it's sad that it had to get to the point of her committing suicide for them to actually go forward with the lawsuit, which makes me think, one, how much evidence was Blizzard hiding from this lawsuit before we learned that they were shredding all these papers and stuff? And then secondly,
can't even believe it.
Like, again, what like, I don't know how to word it exactly, but like, what were these investigators doing that they didn't know any of this stuff before this woman committed suicide? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's just sad. But they'll definitely get what they deserve.
Hopefully.
You can tell they're playing the money game. Kind of funny how it's like, oh, this is untrue, and now they need to be empowered.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So, whether they're giving into pressure from the way the world is, or if they care, or they want to look good and save face, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting, but it's just sad and pathetic that it came down to like this and someone losing life just so there could be an actual investigation, and beforehand they just put up a brick wall going, no, that's not how it is.
And I think
denial.
I'm obviously not saying that, like, every place does it or whatnot, but I think this is probably, I mean, it's a wider problem in just the world in general, but like, there's been very similar accusations that came out from different studios of, like, different subsidiaries and studios of Ubisoft over the last couple of years. And from what I understand, Ubisoft has kind of also done the same thing, where they, like, have barely done anything, and a lot of the people who were accused still either have the exact same position, or they basically just got moved to a different job in a different studio, but that they still are in some type of position of power. And it's just like, I don't fucking know, man. The games industry is a really fucked up place, and I think they, one, need to unionize, and two, find some way to, like, I want to say have their own Me Too movement, but in a way that, like, actually gets shit done. Because, like, clearly these people in power don't actually give a shit. They're just trying to save face.
Yep, they're just trying to save face entirely. They're pulling out their checkbook.
And like I said, granted, I'd love to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, realistically, we'll have to wait until these lawsuits either go further or whatever. It's going to be a while before we know, like, if this actually improves, the situations in the workplace. But it's
going to be interesting what happens.
The fact that they're trying to get the case thrown out because of
conflict of interest.
A conflict of interest between all these different law agencies. It's like, well,
you tell they're trying anything to get out of this case.
There wouldn't need to be a conflict of interest if you didn't fuck up so badly.
Yeah.
There wouldn't need to be like 10 different investigations if you just...
Yeah, if you would have just straight up and honest and you know,
Well, not only straight up and honest, but if you actually treated all your employees like fucking humans.
with respect. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like every business deals with some form of it, but in terms, I mean, that's like Hollywood. Hollywood went through their own thing too, still is. Now it's the gaming industry. Who knows? I mean, who knows what industry's next? But I'm sure when it does happen, they're point a purpose about reason and hopefully consequences. So yeah. We'll definitely keep you updated as it goes on, because I'm sure this is probably gonna keep going for like the next probably 6 months. I'd say you're gonna hear a lot of active news about courtroom lawsuits and who went to trial. Is this happening? So by then you'll probably see how people internally feel about everything. Right now it's kind of a toss up, but time can heal in some ways and some not so beautiful ways. So I guess see the damage that's done after all this is said and done.
Yeah, I just hope that in the future, not just Activision, but the whole games industry can actually treat everybody like fucking human beings. And, you know, I think that not only will the actual workplace be better for it, but I think that the games that come out of it will be better for it. So, yeah, like JP said, we will keep you updated as this story continues to unfold with many, many different twists and turns and all this other bullshit with.
And God only knows what they're going to claim next. Oh, it's a conflict of interest. Oh, all these people, lawyers, keep knocking on my door. Like, well, I wonder why. It's just, you could tell they're trying everything they can to dodge this. Like, they're going to try to play the cards. And I'm hoping when the book is thrown, it's not going to throw them out of court. It's going to be them. You know, that's all in the hands of the justice system. So I guess we'll have to just see what happens. But yeah, over the next 6 months, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of catastrophic.
Possibly longer than that.
Possibly longer, maybe even a damn year at this point. It really depends how far they push it out.
But, yeah, like we said, we'll keep you updated. But the final news story we're going to talk about is God of War coming to PC in January, available on Steam and Epic Game Store. This is by Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. And before I get into it, I just want to say, as my own anecdote, I don't know if you've been keeping up with this news, JP, but there's a lot of people, a lot of Sony ponies that are so fucking pissed anytime that a PlayStation game is announced that it's coming to PC, even though like all of the games they put on PC so far, for the most part, are games that are like 3+ years old. And it's, for some reason, it pisses people off so bad, and it is the dumbest shit ever. Like, it is the dumbest takes I've ever seen.
I think it's funny knowing that the console wars ended a long time ago, and people are still, like,
perpetuating them.
They're like, oh my god, how dare my Sony ponyism end up on the PC with Bill Gates. It's just... It's funny because a lot of them really do sound that fucking dumb. But, yeah, I was just making something up on the spot. But you know there's someone out there that probably says something kind of like that. Or they say the exact same thing.
Alright. Let's see.
Damn you, Bill Gates. You taking my PlayStation games.
God of War, Sony Santa Monica Studios 2018 PlayStation exclusive, is coming to Windows PC on January 14th, 2022. Sony announced at the end of God of War's PlayStation exclusivity announced the end of God of War's PlayStation exclusivity on Wednesday via PC announcement trailer on YouTube. The game will be available for $49.99 on Steam and the Epic Game Store. God of War's page is already active for players who want to pre-order the game ahead of the January release. PC features listed on Steam include high-fidelity graphics, including 4K resolution, DLSS and reflex support for higher frame rates and sharper graphics, and ultra-widescreen support. God of War was originally released in 2018 to critical success. Polygon named it our Game of the Year for its, quote, staggering technical achievement and fantastic story. Sony is currently gearing up for a PlayStation 5 sequel for 2018's God of War. God of War Ragnarok was originally slated for a 2021 release date, but was pushed to 2022 in June. An exact release date has not been announced. In September, Kratos voice actor Christopher Judge said Ragnarok was delayed due to his health, which we covered on a few episodes ago.
I think 2 episodes ago. Or no, wait, 3. Yeah, then it was you solo, and then yeah, 3 episodes.
God of War's move away from PlayStation exclusivity continues a trend we've seen over the past few years. More and more companies are leaning away from the platform exclusivity as the PC becomes home to, well, everything. 2017's hit Horizon Zero Dawn got a PC port last year too, making God of War only the most recent PlayStation first-party title to make way to the new platform. So, honestly, I don't understand why people are pissed. Like, console wars are, I mean, they were always fucking stupid. Let's be real.
Console wars are only perpetuated by children, whether they're adults or not.
I just don't even, I never understood it. Like, play what you like. If you have more friends on a certain console, go play that one. If you prefer Halo and Forza, go play an Xbox. If you prefer God of War and Spider-Man, buy a PlayStation. If you like both, play both. Like, it's
even then, it's like you got cross-platform and cross-gen friends and everything. And you have Discords. I mean, there's so many ways that kind of gap, and
I honestly wish more games would embrace crossplay. I think the main reason some don't is, I mean, we learned
the money
a while ago is that PlayStation is charging companies to do crossplay, which is honestly shitty, but it's like,
at least they're doing something. It's just,
but that just means only like the biggest of the biggest games are going to have some type of crossplay implementation, which sucks. I wish it could be a more widespread thing, but I mean, the thing for me is, like, in this specific situation with God of War, if you actually care about PlayStation and Sony Santa Monica Studios and God of War, then you would see this, not to bring up an Avengers Endgame meme, but you should see this as an absolute win. Like, Sony Santa Monica and PlayStation are getting extra money. They're hyping up all these PC players to want to buy a PlayStation and play God of War Ragnarok when it comes out later next year.
And at the same time, it's proven that the console wars are over. PlayStation is Microsoft. Kind of covers all the bases when you think about it, but people got to bitch about everything.
And it's just like,
gotta find something.
Plus, it's like, the game's been out for, by the time it releases, it'll be almost 4 years, because it came out in April 2018. Yeah, so it'll be out for almost 4 years. It's sold basically just about all the copies it's going to sell on PS4 and PS5. Plus, it's part of the PS Plus collection on PS5. So if you own a PS5, you already have it for free. Plus, it's, well, I don't think it's on PlayStation Now anymore, but it was for a while.
It was for a while. I wasn't going to play it, but I was actually, when I saw it on there, I was like, wow, pretty cool. We might be taking some baby steps towards the next, that thing we were talking about, the overhaul update to the service. I'm like, I think we might be taking baby steps here, but we'll see.
So most, if not all people who care about God of War have already played it. So all this is going to do is get all the PC players that have heard for the last 3.5, 4 years about how incredible the game was to buy it, play it, and get hyped for Ragnarok, and they'll either, one, be excited and wait the 2 or 3 years for Ragnarok to come to PC and then buy it and play it, or they'll go out and try to find a PS5 if they can find one, or
if they can find one,
and buy it and play Ragnarok, which is only going to lead to, again, more sales for Ragnarok, better sales for Ragnarok, which means, a higher likelihood of another sequel down the line. And it's literally a win-win for everybody. PlayStation gets more money, the game gets a new lease on life. Everybody gets caught up and hyped and ready for Ragnarok when it comes out sometime next year.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to continue to see most, if not all, of the PlayStation exclusives get ported to PC within the next couple of years. Like, it's very clearly, and I mean, like the article said, there was a Horizon Zero Dawn PC port that came out last year. They're very clearly doing it strategically with certain games to hype up the new releases. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, like, say, in, like, 2022, if we see Spider-Man and Miles Morales go to the PC. Or we already know that the Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves collection, which is Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, that's going to be on PS4. Well, no, it's going to be on PS5 and PC at the same date.
I think so.
And then, I mean, granted, we don't know right now if that's hyping up a new Uncharted game. That might be to hype up the Uncharted movie, honestly, because the Uncharted movie's coming out.
Yeah, there's a trailer. Ellis was telling me about it. It was pretty good. I actually watched it last. I'm not directly like into that like those series, but like I feel like I'd be more adapted to probably watching them. Like even Assassin's Creed, for example, I'd probably watch the movie. Just, I just like watching my friends play the games. I never got into them, but they seemed interesting.
There was so many people. I mean, not to like go too far off subject, but there was so many people shitting on the Uncharted trailer, and I played all the games, and I really don't think it looks that bad. Like I think it looks like a fun movie. And it looks like a great. To me, it looks like kind of like a greatest hits of like all of the games, because there's like even in the trailer, there's like 2 or 3 things that are like very clearly like ripped basically straight from the game, like almost one for one. Like between the cargo plane sequence, which is like literally what they used to advertise Uncharted 3, and then there's a bunch of like references and stuff from Uncharted 4. They talk about Nate's brother, and they show like the pirate ships, which the whole story of Uncharted 4 was about finding like a pirate treasure and stuff. There's a lot of, it definitely looks like a greatest hits of all the movies, or I mean, yeah, of all the movies, of all the games.
I could just imagine the comments. They'd be like, I don't like this trailer because Nathan Drake isn't Nathan Drakey enough.
Honestly, that was basically what they boiled down to. They were like, oh, Tom Holland looks too young, and so does Mark Wahlberg.
Tom Holland looks too young. Mark Wahlberg. It's like, dude, if they only knew how old he was, what?
I mean, like, sure, like, I have some small gripes, like literally, I would say the most defining feature of Mark Wahlberg's character, because he's obviously a character from the game, is... In the game, his name is, well, and in the movie, he plays Sully. And Sully is known for always having this, like bushy, like gray mustache. And everybody was saying, and well, there was set photos that leaked a while ago that everybody was like pissed off that Mark Wahlberg didn't grow a mustache. I was like, yeah, I think it would look a little bit better if he had a mustache, because now both of them look way younger than they do in the games. But it's like, that's not, I don't see that as being like a deal breaker for the movies.
Guys, we have a new character. We have Mark Wahlberg playing Wahlberg.
Well, honestly, Tom Holland is about the age of, I mean, I don't know if there's a confirmed age for Nathan Drake. Tom Holland's like 25. He just looks young as hell. Mm. So like he
fits the bill, really.
Yeah,
and
he fits the age. He just looks younger than he is. But
just us just play the trailer, and here we are about to get a copyright strike and start playing the trailer. But yeah, I think it's gonna be great, and I kind of want to check out the Assassin's Creed movie now. It actually came out. I'm quite a few years behind on that, but there's a sequel.
I honestly like, until you said something about it, I honestly forgot that they made one. I didn't really hear any like good things about it. I was just like, I didn't hear anything about it. I was just, it came out and I was just like,
I knew it was like coming. There's a sequel being made, but then I was talking to Ellis about it because he was talking about the Uncharted thing that I then watched when I went home before Far Cry, and I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, and there's a sequel being made to Assassin's Creed, so that's a little piece of news to get thrown in there.
But yeah, to dial it back to God of War on PC, I mean, like I said, I see it as a win-win for everybody. And I assume that, again, like I said, PlayStation's definitely going to use this as an advertising tool, where they're going to get people hyped for new games, or new, like I said, with Uncharted, get people hyped for movies or whatever. And yeah, I mean, granted, maybe it's a little different, but I mean, having to go through Disney and Marvel, but I could definitely see one or both of the Spider-Man games getting ported to PC closer to the release of Spider-Man 2. I could see...
That's going to be interesting with the fanboys. Like, oh my god, my Spider-Man's leaving.
I don't know. I mean, granted, it'll probably be a while before we see another Ratchet and Clank game, but I could see... Well, actually, I don't know if Rift Apart, how that would work on PC, really. But... I just think it's going to be a continuing trend to see more and more games coming to PC. Mostly as advertising tools, but I mean, obviously it's also You know,
Really
the games are going to
too.
get sales, like they're going to make money.
Definitely business influence as well, and yeah, I think it's a pretty damn good idea that it's gonna piss off the Sony jabronis out there, but you know,
So dumb. It's just like, how dare you take this game that I like on my PlayStation
and make more money
and get more sales so that you have more money to make the sequel better. How dare you do that to me?
Yeah.
It's like such a dumb attitude. It's like,
people have a lot of that attitude these days with many things. Politics and everything, you name it.
how dare you make a good business decision to make the sequel better? You absolute monsters. It's like,
absolute monster.
you have betrayed all of your fans.
I'm calling the police.
It's like, sorry to tell those people, but like, if you were an actual fan of PlayStation and those games,
you know,
you would be happy because now more people are going to get to enjoy the game. More people are going to want to hop in and buy a PlayStation to either play the previous God of War games or to get ready, like, for Ragnarok or whatever. And then guess what? Then Ragnarok's going to sell better. And that means that more people are going to be interested in it. And then when Ragnarok comes to PC, it's going to sell even better. And then whatever they do after that is going to sell even better. And it's going to keep going that way.
It's a very simple formula. But, you know, people can't understand normal things these days. Gotta blow up about something. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where it goes.
But with that being said, that is all the news we got for you guys this week. And, yeah, if you're listening on, or I guess watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments. Are you excited for God of War on PC? Have you played it already? Are you going to replay it on PC? Let us know. But that being said, guys, this has been your episode for the week of the HexxedPhenom Gamescast. Still haven't come up with a new outro.
I was waiting, I'm like,
but
I will sit here and wait patiently until there's an outro.
Oh, well, then I guess it's going to be the longest podcast in the history of ever.
It's like, here we are at the 24-hour mark of the HexxedPhenom Gamescast.
It's just like that one episode of SpongeBob, Day 43.
Hey, give it up for Day 43. And the next thing you know, it's like, JP, should I buy the Grand Theft Auto Edition? No!
Give it up for Day 43.
Give it up for Day 43. But yeah, hey, he'll eventually get that outro, man, and I'll be right here, waiting.
But with that being said, guys, until next time, Phenom out.